Well, hi everybody, and welcome to another CMYK Sabbath Gathering. My name is Matt, and as a church community, we are simply taking this Sunday off from our traditional gathering. We'll be back at Billings Open Studio next Sunday at 5, and we'd love to see you there. But for this Sunday, wherever you are, whatever's going on, we just want to encourage you to breathe deep, relax, and rest, and enjoy creation and relationships around you. And to take these next few moments with us to think about some things that we think really matter. One of the most fascinating things about the life and the leadership of Jesus for me has always been the way that he would leave his interactions. He would always have these moments with people. They would come to him, they would be interested in his healing or his wisdom, his guidance. They would look to him for food and comfort, these kinds of things. And Jesus would always seem to respond. He would always seem to reply in a way that was always good. Everybody was excited by what he brought if they were asking him for something. So he'd heal them, he'd help them. But what's fascinating to me from a leadership standpoint is there would be this moment, there would be this interaction, and then Jesus would almost hand them off. It was almost as if he was done with them and he would just send them on their way. These people were looking for their whole life to change. They weren't just looking for one small interaction. They were looking for everything to change. And for Jesus, what was fascinating is that moment seemed to change everything. In other words, it wasn't Jesus having, yes, a moment, but then as a leader, kind of mapping out, well, here's the 10 things you need to do. If you're serious about life change, well, then do these things. If you're serious about finding healing or growth or peace or forgiveness, whatever those things, then you just need to focus on these three things. Jesus wasn't interested in that. There was something about that moment that changed everything. It's fascinating because we can all have a tendency in today's day and age to think about what we want to do and where we want to be in life and think that the best way to lead ourselves or to lead the people around us is to get a plan and to figure it out and to find the 10 things or the 3 things or commit to the one thing or stop doing the one thing that we're going to do. We're going to make our marriage better. We're going to fix our kids. We're going to fix our career. Whatever it is, we're going to move forward. And why? It's because we have a plan. Jesus never seemed to have this plan with people. There was just something about that one-on-one, huge moment interaction. It's fascinating, it's interesting, and it's different than everything you and I typically do to bring change. One of the most fascinating moments that this occurs is in John chapter 8. It's a pretty famous story of this woman who's caught in adultery. Everyone catches her and drags her out into the streets. And they're trying to catch Jesus a little bit here too because they want to see how he's going to respond. He's this big religious leader and they want to see if he's going to follow through with what he says he's about. And so this woman is caught in adultery and the law says that she's to be stoned, she's to be killed. And so putting Jesus on the spot, Jesus, are you going to do what the law says our scriptures say that you should do? And again, many of us know the story. Jesus looks around, kneels down, and begins to write in the dirt and then says something. He says, those of you that have not sinned, you can cast the first stone. Well, this causes everyone in the crowd to kind of quiet down, and slowly but surely everyone starts to drop their stones because they start to realize, well, I've done something, or I'm guilty here, or something happens in that moment that causes everyone to just drop and run. And then John chapter 8, it says that Jesus looks up and sees that it's just the woman left. And he says, well, woman, where's everyone gone? Do they not condemn you? And she says, no, they've all ran. And then Jesus looks at her and says, neither do I condemn you. Go and leave your life of sin. There's something about that moment that Jesus simply is able to say these words, you are not condemned, so now go and live like that. That is what was important for the writer of this gospel, John. John didn't seem that it was important. This gospel was written years and years after this interaction. But John didn't seem important to hunt down the woman and see if she actually left her life of sin. He didn't think it was important to see if, 5 years later, if she was following through on what she was supposed to follow through, if she, had done the things that she was supposed to. No, John didn't seem concerned about that. What was significant and important for John, and more importantly, what was significant and important for Jesus, was that moment. Not her plan, but that moment. And I wonder, is as you and I look forward to what's to be, if it's this moment that's most significant. And it's this moment, having the same kind of interaction that she had with Jesus, that we would have with Christ and with ourselves. To hear the same words that she heard, to hear the same words that Jesus spoke to so many people throughout the Gospels, and it's words similar to this: you are not condemned, so live like that. You are loved, so just believe that. I am with you, so do everything understanding my presence. I am for you, so go everywhere believing I'm behind you. I'm in front of you, and you are not alone because you are accepted. It's almost as if the power of that interaction with Jesus changes everything. More than any 10-point plan. More than any goal or strategy that you would have for your marriage, your career, your kids, your spiritual life, your physical life, whatever it is, if you and I would just live out that. The way we say it as a CMYK community many times is that Christianity, following Jesus, is not about trying to make something happen in our future. Christianity, following Jesus, is about responding to what's already happened, to what's already here, and to what's already present. That this moment, right now, you and I have the opportunity to breathe in and out the acceptance and the love and the grace of God, and that changes everything. Not a reading plan, not a Bible study, not anything that we could think of or muster up, because Jesus wasn't concerned with those things. He was concerned with looking someone in the eye and saying, I don't condemn you for where you've been, where you are, or where you're going. You are loved, so live like that. I love the way that Paul Tillich, he's a German-American theologian, the early 1900s, and I just love the way he spoke it years and years ago, and would love to wrap up with these words. I hope that I do them justice, and I hope that you would just take a moment and listen and meditate on these words. You are accepted. You are accepted. You're accepted by that which is greater than you, in the name of which you do not know. Do not ask for the name now. Perhaps you will find it later. Do not try to do anything now. Perhaps later you will do much. Do not seek for anything. Do not perform anything. Do not intend anything. Simply accept the fact that you are accepted. See, if that happens to us, we experience grace. It's after such an experience, we may not be better than before. We may not believe more than before. But everything is transformed. It's in that moment grace conquers sin, and reconciliation bridges the gulf of estrangement, and nothing is demanded of this experience. No religious or moral or intellectual presupposition. Nothing but acceptance.